Sounds great.
Hey, I apologize for the noise. I'm on the road right now, so let me just get over where it's quiet.
Okay.
You have to listen to all that traffic. So, hey, we appreciate you taking a couple.
He has to fix something, James, real quick.
Okay, got it. Okay, so let me get that. Not so loud.
Hello?
Hi, Peter.
Yeah, hold on. I'm trying to get it my headset going. There we go.
Okay. Hey, thanks for taking a couple minutes with us today. We've got a pretty exciting new technology that we want to show you. Before we get started, we always like to know a little bit about you. I think it's obvious you guys are a pretty substantial media conglomerate, but maybe you can talk a little bit about that and your experience with web intelligence tools.
Sure. So I am Associate Director for Digital Business Development. So Atlantic Media has 5 business units. They are briefly the Atlantic and its suite of sites. The Atlantic has theatlantic.com, theatlanticcities.com, theatlanticwire.com. Altogether, that's about 20 million uniques a month. We have National Journal, which is a politics and policy inside the Beltway vertical that has a free site with about 5 million uniques and a premium membership model where corporations pay for custom advocacy pieces and sort of insider information that's more of a premium in the thousands of dollars membership. We have a new business vertical called Quartz, the URL is qz.com. That is started in September as a global business elite vertical, so it's HTML5, tablet-oriented, sort of the breaking business news of the day. That is getting about 1 million in 3 months, which is nice. We have a small B2B publisher called Government Executive, which is pretty self-explanatory. And then we have a custom marketing services arm that does 2 things. One, we manage the digital operations for tennis.com. It's like a legacy print publication. It's Tennis Magazine. And the other is we'll run custom publishing portals for Fortune 100 companies, universities, that sort of thing. So I work across all of them, and Joshua works with me with sort of a corporate business development and analytics center. So Joshua works on both. I pretty much just do business development. So I work with all 5 business units on new initiatives and innovations and tech and content and new media. That pretty much covers it unless you guys have specific questions.
No, that pretty much covers it. So what kind of technology do you guys use as far as your web analytics right now?
Joshua, you want to take it?
Yeah. Right now we use Adobe Omniture for the most part. That's where we get the majority of our analytics information. We also use Parsley Dash for a certain amount of longitudinal data, and then to a certain extent we also use Google Analytics, although not as frequently as the other 2.
All right, so you guys have a pretty well-versed knowledge of the analytics in the market today. Hopefully we can show you something here that's we think is kind of a game changer when it comes to digital marketing intelligence. James, are you still there?
Yeah. Do you have any idea how much monthly traffic you guys get?
He laid out the several different sites.
Okay. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear that part. So
yeah, no, it's fine. I'll just briefly. We're probably about 30 million overall.
Okay, that's pretty substantial. Okay, well, Nate's gonna take you through the presentation, and then we'll talk about some of the practical benefits from this technology.
All right, gentlemen. Here at Oopgo, we specialize in digital marketing intelligence, and we've invented several technologies which we believe, for the first time, really allows companies to see all the activity that takes place on their website. And what's really at the core of this technology is what we call customer interaction recordings. But essentially what they are user videos. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, so one of the biggest differentiators for us is our data capture. We capture, I believe it's 1,000 times more data points than any analytics that are out there. And what that allows us to do is several different things. One of them is it allows us to recreate the user experience from a person's perspective. So what we have an example of here is, and what we capture is every data point for every click, mouse movement, scroll, text input, and it allows us to recreate these videos. And what we really wanted to do was to be able to give companies the ability to put themselves in their users' shoes and to really see from a user experience perspective exactly how people are using their website. So if I pop this out here, I'm not zooming in or zooming out. This will show you at the exact resolution how this person saw your website and how they interacted with it. You know, with the understanding that the user experience between different platforms is going to be different. And so, you know, the user experience between a phone and a computer and a tablet is going to be a little different. We really wanted to be able to give you the point of view of the person, you know, depending on what platform they're using, to let you see, you know, from their user experience how it really was and what they saw, how they saw your site. Does that all make sense?
Yep.
Please feel free at any time if you guys have any questions to just interrupt me, and we'll get those answered for you. Okay. So the next thing I want to show you here is this is kind of how we organize it. We organize it into a person-by-person basis, and this view shows you the entire history of what this person has done on your site. So how we kind of break this up is into customer sessions, and how we define a session is a person comes on your site, they click around, they navigate to a couple of pages, they'll probably read a couple of articles, and then they're going to leave, and that's what we consider one session. If they were to come back 5 minutes later or a day later, we would consider that a different session. And so we kind of have it broken up in between session here, and you can see throughout time and kind of select through these videos to try to see, you know, what they've done. And if there was one that looks of particular interest to you, we can go ahead and click and it'll pull it up here on this main viewer. And again, you'll be able to see exactly from their perspective how they interacted with your website and what it looked like to them. How, you know, especially with a company of your size, we completely understand you guys have, you know, 30 million uniques hitting your page every single month, and it's, you know, it's really not practical for you to be able to try to go through all those videos. But what we wanted to do is give you the ability to tag and segment and to really drill down to those individuals who are most important to you, or to maybe you know, see a user experience from a specific segment. And so what we have right here, we kind of broken up tagging into two portions. We have these tags right here, and we have a set of default tags. But if there's some sort of criteria that you're looking for, or something that's important, or something you want to investigate, if you can define the criteria that you're looking for, we can put that into a tag and then dynamically add that as people fulfill that criteria. Key actions are very similar, but these are more behavioral. So if someone fills out a survey, a contact form, or, you know, in an e-commerce situation, somebody purchases something, we can tag them with that key action and allow you to drill down and filter to those people who are fulfilling those actions that you're looking for.
This is Joshua. I have a quick question.
Yes.
About segmentation. So a segment could be built based on a particular path in the website. So we could say, you know, if user A were to enter the website via a specific page, so we could track all users that did that specific action?
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Gotcha.
Another thing I kind of want to get back into is our data capture, and really we capture more information and more data than anyone else out there, but we also understand that, you know, there's a big thing out, you know, you guys have so much information at your fingertips already. We're not going to try to give you too much information that you can't get through. So what we did with a lot of these dashboards were we created default metrics that we thought were important. But if there is something on here that's some sort of KPI or something that's important to your company, we can go ahead and have that built into the dashboard so you can get it, you know, we can get it into your hands as quickly as possible and you can find that data. And we were extremely concerned when we put all this together to ensure from a usability perspective that everything was there and it was intuitive and easy to use and would require minimal to almost no training to go through. So a couple of the other metrics that we have here, if we look over here on this left-hand side, this is kind of the micro view of this current session, and so it'll let you know where they came from, what browser they're using, and how long they were on the site. This over here, the customer history, is more of a historical view of overall how many times they've come to your site and how many pages they've visited. And again, this is really at the most base micro level at that individual user. So what I'd like to do I want to kind of take it out and take it to a more functional perspective and show you kind of the overview, that high level of how we keep track of all this stuff on your website. So what we have here is the member section dashboard, and we have several default widgets that are on the screen. And I'm sure you guys are familiar with these. You know how many people are coming to your site, you know the places they're coming from, the search engines they use, and you know the keywords they're using to find you. But again, because of our data source, if there's something that's important and something you need at your fingertips, we can build these widgets to get that information to you as quickly as possible. One of the other things we wanted to do is, you know, a lot of the products that you guys use, and I've used them in the past, and one of our biggest frustrations was the ability to actually dig down and see what's actually taking place. You know, numbers are great, but they don't tell the whole story, and we wanted to be able to actually give you that story. So, for example, if you were curious about, you know, what the people were doing from Google, we could go ahead and drill down, and it's going to bring up the results of all those people who came from that specific traffic source. You know, understanding that again with the volume of traffic that you guys are dealing with, we wanted to give you more filters to be able to continue to dig down. So to look at a specific tag or event or maybe a location that they're coming from to see those videos. So once you get your results here, we can go ahead and scroll down, and maybe a tag or something jumps out that you know you find interesting. We can go ahead and throw the video up and watch it and see how they interacted with the site. Now, if you wanted to see a little bit more detail about what this person, you know, about their history with your company, we can go ahead and get back down to that micro level and look at all the information for that specific customer. One of the last examples that I kind of want to show from just hitting the wave tops. Here we have our conversion funnels, and I'm sure you guys are familiar with that. So one of the biggest frustrations that we've always had with conversion funnels is, you know, they give you great knowledge. They let you know, how many people are making it through the steps, but, you know, you always find those sticking points during that conversion that stop them from completing that call to action. And so, you know, we wanted to be able to show you what's happening during that sticking point. So, for example, here we have, you know, we're losing 1,600 people between these steps. You know, that's great. That's great information. But it makes us have to start to do guesswork. You know, why are these people abandoning? You know, what's taking place there? We want to kind of take that guesswork out and really show you what's taking place during that step. So we allow you to drill down and to actually see how a person interacts during that step that could be causing them not to go through that conversion funnel and ultimately to convert. And in this example, we have an error on our page that we need to fix. And once we fix that, hopefully that sticking point will be resolved and we can increase our conversions. So with that's this has so much capability and so much functionality that, you know, we just try to hit the wave tops. And I just kind of want to take your temperature here, and, you know, we think this has a lot of potential and it's kind of cool. And just kind of feel, you know, what you guys think, and kind of if you have any questions or issues.
I mean, from my perspective, it sounds like an interesting concept. I'm just, you know, looking at it from our perspective, I think, you know, drilling down too far sometimes doesn't get, you know, it's not really the information that we're looking for. Like, is there anything where we can look at, we kind of want to see user behavior, not at the individual level, but, you know, in groups of individuals. You know what I'm saying?
So let me jump in there. You could do group analytics. So let's just say, you know, some people have said that I don't really have time to watch, you know, 50 videos or 100 videos. But what you can do is, you know, we've got analysis engines that you can use. You can say, I just want to know the amount of people that are abandoning filling out the buy form. So you can do all. So we've got search engines that can basically just give you analytical analysis instead of if you don't want the visual analysis. Let me jump in. You know, I always like to try to talk about things out of the abstract and more into the particular. Like, in other words, what would be the definitive benefits for, you know, somebody like you? And it seems to me off the top of my head there, I can think of at least 3 or 4 fairly quickly. One is, you know, people that are going to the website, to your website to subscribe or you know, buy your services. Right? For every one person that you know, signs up, buys, there's probably 4 or 5 that have been to the page, maybe even started to fill out the forms to buy the service, and then have stopped. And on top of that, there's probably another 4 or 5, maybe they've been there multiple times and they're thinking about it, but just like it's a time zone. I call those people the low-hanging fruit. Those are easy conversions because by using our application, you can tag them, recognize them as high-value people, and drop down like a little additional coupon, or you can even communicate with them in real time. In other words, you can see them when they come on a site. You can have somebody on a chat, in a chat mode, reach out to them and say, hey, we see you've been on the site a few times. We'd really like you to sign up, blah, blah, blah. That's number one. Number two is from the service point of view, dispute resolution. People are signing up for something they fill their data in wrong, and there's a bunch of problems. You can use it from a dispute resolution model too. And then lastly is just the whole question about behavior modification in general, about getting people to do what you want them to do. All the analytics in the world tell you about why you're successful, about the general movement of people, but they don't really go to the question about why you're not being successful. In other words, are there usability issues when people are looking at your website, filling in data? If it may look so horrible on a handheld, they may not want to do it. So those are just a few practical examples. I'm sure there are many more.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it from our perspective, I think the number one thing that, certainly from a website like the Atlantic's point of view, we want to increase the proportion of users that are not bounce traffic. Being a publication, we have a larger bounce rate than probably the average website. So, yeah, I think point 3 is probably the most applicable in our circumstance.
Yeah, that'd be one great example. I'm sure there are many more, having to do with errors, and so let me ask you a couple of questions. Every company is different. Maybe talk to me about how you deploy new technology, and typically who gets involved in the decision. Is it more of a horizontal structure where you have kind of a team and everybody looks at it, kind of evaluates it, and buys into it? Is it more horizontal, a smaller group, and they decide, or a single person? And then maybe your time frame for deploying new technology?
It depends really on the technology and stakeholders. We have pretty tightly staffed dev teams, and we're actually down 2 people at the moment.
Okay.
We serve as sort of a internal gatekeeper across the company and can make some introductions to product team heads, but generally we sort of vet things and do it that way. Does that answer your question?
Okay. Yeah, perfect. So, I mean, obviously we knew we weren't going to call you today, and you were going to say, yes, you want to buy this, or well, actually,
right.
Sorry. One of two things was going to happen today. Either you guys were going to look at it and go, that's sort of interesting, we need to, do a deeper dig, or 2, interesting, three things. Interesting but not really a good fit for us, or 3, not interesting and not a good fit. So I guess at this point, where do you think you fit in that spectrum?
I think it's definitely interesting.
Okay.
Is there a way to have like a demo or like a demo account or something to either do some testing or show some of our stakeholders?
Absolutely. So really there are a couple of things. For folks like yourself, I think there are really 2 issues. One is doing demos to maybe play with a little bit, and 2 is just understanding workflows, right? How would this actually work? If I'm using it, or if we're initiated here, what would that workflow look like? Who would have to be involved in it, et cetera, right? So the answer is yes. What I guess the question would be, what kind of time frame would you want to do it, and who would need to be involved, and we can basically set it up for you.
So I think Josh would probably be the right person. Would you say, Josh, to have the demo?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I mean, time frame, I'm pretty open.
When would you like to do it?
Let's see. Maybe the last week of the month here.
Okay.
Next week's going to be a little crazy.
We have a lot of end of the year and various reports coming out, and Joshua sort of manages the reports for 7 sites. So.
Okay. I get that. So we'll Nate will coordinate. We'll send you an email as soon as we're done. We'll coordinate some date and times. Let us know who you want to invite. We'll supply the movie pictures. You supply the popcorn.
Sure. Sounds good.
Okay.
Okay. Well, we'll set up for the last week in January, and we appreciate your time. If you don't have any more questions, we'll wish you guys a good weekend, and we'll circle back the last week of the month.
Cool. Have a good holiday.
Okay. Hey, take care, guys.
You guys
right.
too.
Have a
Thank you
good
for your
one.
time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.